Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BNR Racing Network. Alongside of me tonight is Will. Good evening, Will.
Good evening, Brian.
These guys head to Atlanta, old Atlanta, a matter of fact. Slightly banked, kind of fast, I would say. But we'll go ahead and let you give your history behind this version of Atlanta for the fans and all those watching at home.
Yes, indeed. Initially laid down and started construction in '58, finished and opened in 1960, and first race held in 1960. So, pretty fast track, one of NASCAR's fastest and first super speedways as far as terminology goes. The original banking, if I'm not mistaken, was 30 degrees or 28 degrees of banking, I believe. Anywho, it was one of the fastest tracks, that they ran on. And it originally was just a oval-shaped track. Then, years later, in the late 90s, came the double or the quad oval configuration to Atlanta. They flipped the track and start-finish line as well. So Still a fast track, and this is the old configuration of Atlanta, what my generation, your generation of fans would be considered calling old Atlanta. Before the reconfiguration and repave of the track to what we have now of the Atlanta Super Speedway. So, yes, indeed, a lot of memorable, great finishes here, a lot of great races. Uh, I remember watching on YouTube. You can go and find a lot of these old races either on YouTube or NASCAR has an archive website slash YouTube channel as well, where they've been uploading archived footage races. But Earnhardt, Dell Earnhardt with a RCR Wrangler 3 car here, I believe in '86, winning a race here. He dominated that race that day in dominating fashion. The very close finish the year before, or in 2000, before Dell died, that set up the Jeff Gordon Harvick memorable finish later in '01, but the memorable finish that Earnhardt had with Labonte to kind of set that up in a way, if you think about it. So a lot of great memorable finishes here at Atlanta, different in different series. The Trek series coming to the checkered flag, everybody wrecking coming off of turn 4. I was like, I want to say Terry Labonte was not Terry, but Bobby was in that race as well. But a lot of great finishes in all the different series, like I said. But lots of great characteristics that this track also can uh, forehold in it. Just the racing line itself, how the tire can get eaten away. So got to be careful and mindful of that. Tire saving very crucial here tonight, Brian. So
Oh, absolutely. Will I agree with you? These old style cars and with the new tire model, they're now be searching for the grooves around the track. Well, I'm going to get through this race information here real quick, and then we can continue and pick our who we think is going to win and like that. Anyways, you see here we're in Atlanta, Georgia. A mile and a half track. Current track temp, Will, is 110 degrees. It is 843 feet in altitude. The weather is 87 degrees. It is 56% humidity. Partly cloudy with an 8 mile per hour wind. 135 laps, which is 207.9 7 miles. So we rounded up to 208. 70% fuel, 4 sets of tires, and 1 quick fix. I'm going to go down the running order, and then we'll go from there. The starting grid here, you see here, Brock Page, P1. P2 would be Peter. P3 would be Brandon. P4 would be Jacob Carter. P5 would be Kyle Gooden. P6 would be Joe Stipe. P7 would be Darrell Whitford. P8 would be Paul Lawson. P9 would be Philip Bridgman. P10 would be Josh Richards. So, Will, out of these drivers, who do you think is going to be the dominant force here tonight, and who's going to be your pick?
Well, possibility, I would have to say, maybe between the third place qualifier Brandon Moore and maybe Brock Page. Don't want to count out Peter if he's able to grid. There he is.
Yeah, yep. I was gonna go with either Jacob Carter or Peter, I think. Brandon's a good pick too as well. Well, absolutely is. So.
Yeah, I don't want to pick too many, because if you start picking too many, that's pretty much all the field,
Yeah. But here we go. 135 laps, Will, here tonight.
Yes, indeed. If I fall asleep during this broadcast, I am very sorry. So, yes, indeed.
You will be A-OK. I know Brock's got a pretty fast hot rod here the past couple of weeks, but unfortunately pit stop's been a factor for him. So roughly 40, what do they say, about 47
40
laps so
to
far?
45. Yep.
Okay.
Roughly around that time span, but tires will probably be the main vocal point of this race.
Well, pace car is off. And the green flag is out. You see here Brock Page going into turns 1 and 2. Peter, there P2. Jacob Carter right behind Pete there. You see Joe Stipe, Phillip Bridgman, Kyle Gooden, Whitford there.
Yeah, we have some drivers early on taking advantage of that outside lane and what the fresh tires will allow it to be. Oh, we got a couple of cars making contact early on, but it looked like they kept it straight somehow or another. I believe that was Bradford and
Whitford.
Yes, I was going to say another red car couldn't catch the number, but two red cars coming together, and was Whitford. But my oh my. Gotta be careful going through the quad oval here at Atlanta on the front straightaway, that double dog leg sort of speak, and that's what you can see there, just like at Texas or Charlotte, the three notable oval tracks that NASCAR is known for. So there is speed in that outside lane. It will develop, but it's only going to be there for a limited time, as long as these tires will have some good to them, fresh tires. And that outside lane will be basically like a silver bullet train. It'll be really good, really quick, but silver bullet trains, quick all the time. But for the most part, here it's going to be for a limited time.
Like I said, well, with the new update that they did to all the track, certain lanes are gonna work, but then after that they have to change to find the groove, that groove again. So,
yes, new tire model, new physics, new handling model for the most part for some cars as well, and also damage model, if I didn't already say that as well. Damage model reworked for certain cars, certain series. So yes, indeed. You see the majority of the field on the bottom of the lane, bottom track in the bottom lane.
yeah.
Front three.
Bridgman, Page, and Carter on the outside. Then you got Peter, Moore, and Bradford running the bottom, and a few others behind them, all attacking that bottom lane early on. Besides Phil, Phil's on the bottom. So all that grip's going to be on the bottom for the moment, but after that grip wears away, then we're going to start seeing a lot of these drivers migrate to the top. So who's good at tire saving and who ain't? I guess that will determine how we
I think it can.
go here.
I think it can be an opposite role for the most part, or you just can see competitors stay in that bottom lane committed the entire run. Some if they just find it soothing or more better to keep the car pointed down there, they can. Some are just able to wrap that top, so
you see Phillip
mainly it's a feel.
by Peter. Brandon's looking to go to the inside of Bridgman. Wrap that bottom. Is he off the throttle for a split second and back on it? So the field is still a bit close to each other.
Yeah, still only about 10 laps into this race. Only 5 seconds in total, really, separate the entire field. Our competitors here tonight. Brock Page leading the way.
Yep. As
In
Bradford.
the early goings.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was as Bradford looks to get to the inside of Phillip, but Joe making a hard charge. Bradford hanging strong on the bottom there. You got everybody back here just pacing themselves. Just filling the wall there.
Looks like Bradford got tight, went up the track, lots of checking up, lots of drivers trying to stay off of one another. Kyle Gooden in the 5 trying to stay off of fellow competitors as well. Everybody looks like getting it straight and narrowed. I think Phillip got a bit tight as well. He was already up there in the wall whenever Bradford kind of got tight, came up the track, and was coming to say hello. Kyle Gooden in the 5. Just almost overdrove it and said hello to Joe there.
Joe's been getting good with these types of cars, Will, I would say. He likes the challenge, and these cars can be a sort of type of challenge, just all depends really. So he's right on board with Joe here. Biding his time.
Look at, as you can see, riding on board with Joe, you look ahead, there is some squabbling going on. There's a 4-car breakaway at the front. Those guys still first through 4th. Then back here with Bradford, Bridgman, Stipe. Almost reminds you of watching an IROC race almost, but oh, Phillip got tight, hit the apron perhaps, and walked it up the track.
Right there in front of Joe, and Joe's only going to take that for so long. Well, we know how Joe is, so.
Now sometimes it can be very difficult, you're carrying the speed into the corner, and it can be very easy to turn the car a little bit better than you wanted to, and it's going to go down that hill a little bit further. Well,
see there, Phillip gets tight into the wall.
Able to save it though, kept it going straight somehow. What a save. As now Gooden now making the pass on the 97 machine. Next will be Josh Malls. Almost 3 wide at the stripe, just about.
Well, as we have a battle for the lead here.
Yes, Peter and Page. Also, Jacob Carter. Oh, it's a 4-way battle just about.
There's a battle up here in the front, battle in the back. We don't know where to look. But Brock Page, Will, is still hanging strong on the outside, giving Peter that bottom. So
Yeah, definitely taking the long way around, but the most of the momentum coming from the top of the track. He's really, really hanging it tough up there on that outside lane. That's for sure. Really has a good feel of presence from where the wall is. So just an epic battle up front, going for the lead, and then sixth on back. I guess you could say. Yes, indeed, it is sixth on back. Just having a good time up at 2. Bradford's trying to pull away to be kind of away from him, riding comfortably in 5th, but
Yep. That's Kyle setting his own pace behind Aaron. In that 5-4's car. When you come back here more, like I said, you got Joe and Phillip moving it out. Josh Small right behind him.
we got different battle groups kind of scattered throughout the track, but man, they are ever present. Kyle Gooden has got to the back of Aaron Bradford, making a pass attempt to get into the top 5 there. Really working hard on Bradford is Kyle, so Bill and Josh really, Phillip back into the wall. Really going to keep hurting Phillip's progress there, trying to stay ahead of J&J.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So
back up here in the front, you see Peter to the back of Brock Page here.
He's making his presence known all over the back of Brock, trying to make Brock drive into a mistake, but yet not drive into one himself. As 3rd and 4th man, Carter and Mort go at it back here, just ever so slightly behind.
Yeah. Brandon trying to find every ounce of groove that he can get. Come back here.
I wonder if I was just gonna be like, I wonder if an air horn would like wake me up or something. Like what could possibly like jump me, like give me a burst of energy, you know? Oh, did Joe get in the wall or something? He have a problem?
I don't know, maybe.
Anywho.
It could be possible some contact with him and Bridgman. Not too sure what happened for him to lose a couple.
Anyway, they've run down Bradford and Kyle, so must be doing something right.
They got to be.
5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th here, so good squabble.
As Kyle.
Oh.
Yeah, that could have been ugly.
Yeah, Bradford just, man, he almost lost it. Almost. Tire's probably gone away now. It's all about trying to have that throttle control and just manhandling the wheel probably, so.
Oh yeah. You see Brandon Moore well
Yep,
got by Jacob Carter there.
yep, that was that one battle over for the moment. As first and second, they are still side by side battling for that. Look back here, slide jobs going on, both positions.
Between the J&J. Josh Small and Joe Stipe.
Bradford's battling like, man, where'd everybody come from? I was sitting comfortably in fifth, and then all of a sudden the car started ever so slightly going sideways. And everybody caught up.
Yeah. Now Kyle leads his pack here. Right on board with Josh. .28 of 135 so far.
Should be halfway done with this first opening stunt. That means the cars are getting lighter. The tires are already probably more than likely gone. They are shot off these cars. So, wouldn't surprise to be a little bit more ill handling.
I believe that's happened with Phillips' car. The handling just gave out of it. Oh! Joe Stipe and Bradford make contact there.
Is that not a caution?
No, I think he kept it off the track.
Oh, man.
Let's go back and see what alerted that. Obviously, it looked
Gonna
like
be racing.
Oh, he hit that apron.
Oh, yeah, he did. Hit that apron and just shoots him up the track and across the bumper of Joe there. So nothing really, just overdrove the corner, did Bradford, but just really no fault of anyone's, just driving incident, really. Driving incident, truly, at the end of the day, because that could happen to anyone. So, don't want to say, Bradford went in there and overdrove the corner and hit the apron. I mean, it's pretty obvious he did do that, but so many good, great drivers can do that.
Oh yeah,
So
nothing that
easy
Joe
to
could have
do.
done.
Oh no, neither driver really in either situation, because if Aaron does like really check up more, like if he's still gonna walk up the track possibly, the momentum gonna carry him up there so, just a racing deal really. Just kind of sucks a caution doesn't come out. To hopefully, he could have got the quick fix and been back out there and not go, these laps down that he could, multiple that he could be losing.
Yeah. I think in the next 10 to 12 laps, we'll start seeing the green flag pits under play. I'm interested to see the tire wear of these guys. To those who push hard and those who don't see the difference, for sure. Ever so slightly, we'll rolling in on coming up to 100 laps to go here shortly.
Yeah, that is for sure. very surprised about what happened earlier that didn't manifest a caution, but it happens. Peter has taken the lead. We lost it in the confusion of the, I guess, looking over the replay and whatnot, but yes, he is in the lead. Brock is right behind him, though, in second. So Brock, once he lost the lead, hasn't fallen too far off of the pace. He's still there, most definitely. No doubt running pretty much the same lap times as the race leader that has taken the lead, Peter, in the 53. Because he is still on him all over the back bumper. They've opened up a gap, though, to third place man, Brandon Moore. Decent 2 seconds over the field as far as back to Moore. And then Brandon's opened up 2 seconds to Jacob Carter, so then back to Kyle. That is 13 seconds back to Kyle in 5th place. That rounds out the top 5 as far as intervals and what have you goes, if anyone cares to know them aloud.
Yep.
Look at this battle here. Brock trying to place his nose of his car just ever so slightly a lane below Peters, going through 1 and 2. What does he do in 3 and 4 now? It goes all the way downstairs. Looks like he actually gained a little bit doing that.
Absolutely did. So you see him actually up on that wall wheel, hugging it enough to where you can't even fit a piece of paper in there.
Peters line through 1 and 2. All the way around, really excellent line. Exactly what you want to do here at Atlanta.
Well, next week we head to Richmond.
Well, Richmond, it is going to be just as difficult and tricky as the next to pretty much all the tracks on the schedule, so can't wait to see what comes of Richmond next week.
Barney the flagman just still sitting up there with the green flag in his hand still. Overlooking and observing it. So, well, we hit 40 laps now. I say within the next 5 to 7 laps we should start seeing some green flag pits.
Oh yes, no doubt. That's, like I said, when we got told the fuel window, operating window, so no doubt we should see them coming down around that time.
Peter is still hanging strong up there. Ever so slightly starting to pull away from Brock, Will. Oh. Brock Page gets back by Peter.
Moment, it's kind of the Peter and Brock show at the moment. Even though Brandon Moore's keeping a decent buffer, only 2 seconds away, hasn't really lost or gained that, that time. It's just staying there at a consistent 2 seconds for about the past, I don't know, 8 laps or so, so not losing too much ground, you would have to think.
Lose a little ground here and there. I just think that he's not charging hard enough, which is what we know Brandon can sometimes do, but with these type of cars, it can be difficult to finesse that. So as this battle intensifies up here in the front, the first taker is Phillip. Phillip's in the pits. Oh, Peter's in
Peter
the wall
now.
there.
Yep, dragging the wall down just a little bit. He got a bit too high. Brock's going to try to do a slide job coming out of 4, lead that momentum down the straightaway of that outside lane, carry it through 1 and 2. Peter's going to, though, try his own slide job of sorts going on the exit of 2 there.
Jacob Carter
He
is
was
now in the pits too as well. Brock Page is now going to come into the pits here as we see it. As Kyle Gooden moves up to P3, Josh Small moves up to P4. We'll see when these leaders start to pit. You see their Lawson's now coming into the pits. Joe still staying out. Jacob Carter back out on the track. Currently 1 lap down. Same thing with Brock Page. You see the 20s now making his pit stop. As Peter crosses the line to take lap 48. So these guys that were running a little bit slower were able to conserve at least a little bit enough fuel and back their turns up to stay out a little bit longer. But Will, you know and I know that can hurt in the longer run. You see here.
Most definitely.
Yeah, Joe Stipe is now pitting. Brandon Moore is now going to make his scheduled pit stop. That moves Kyle Gooden up to P2. Josh Small up to P3. So these guys are staying out an extra couple more laps than the scheduled distance. As you see here now, Peter is now going to now make his scheduled pit stop, Will. As I do believe so is Josh as well. And Kyle. So they ran exactly 50 laps on fuel. So that could be beneficial to them, maybe. Not too sure. We'll just have to wait and see, to be honest with you. So Peter with a 22.4 second stop.
Stipe had a 30-second long pit stop, about 10 seconds longer than you kind of probably want.
Kyle Gooden with a 22.2 and Josh Small with a 24.4. So Josh maybe might have had a little slip up into the pits, Will. We're not too sure of that. But all I know is out of the leader and Gooden had a better pit stop out of the other two. So, and that's really what it comes down to be honest with you.
Almost definitely. Indeed, whenever it comes down to pit stops is the great equalizer. And you kind of see who has the attack getting in and out of pit road, who wants to be conservative. Tell of the tape, if you will,
So
in racing.
Yep. So now Jacob Carter is now running that middle to high lane. I'm not too sure if he doesn't have enough grip to run the bottom. Well, we always known he's been running the outside lane the whole race. But now he probably doesn't have enough grip up there. Just enough to get him on by. So, you see Joe Stipe on the bottom there. Getting on by Mr. Carter. Not for position, just a lap down car. So, oh! Bradford is now in the wall. You see Joe hit the apron.
Yes, bunch of reactions here trying to not crash themselves or get collected and involved. So evasive maneuvers taking place.
And just like that, Will Peter is now back to the front of the field. Setting the pace. You see Philip Bridgman down there on the apron. Something had occurred with him. Maybe hit the wall or something like that. But he's now back a lap down after unlapping himself to get put back a lap down. So, you see here lap 55 of 135. See here the 20.
Are they really ticking the laps away?
Oh yeah, they are. They're putting a good pace down, that's for sure. The 20 and the 28 now duking it out here for P6. In danger of going one lap down. I believe Philip is struggling a little bit. Not too sure what's going on with that 97 machine. So, it looks like he might have broke something or whatever it is.
Get loose. Just gets loose entering turns 1 and 2 there.
Not too sure what's going on with that machine, but that's all right. He'll get it figured out. But anyway, Jacob Carter looking to run back down Brandon Moore. Doesn't have enough of the gap there.
And that gap kind of opened up a little bit more between Page and Moore during the pit cycle there that we had. So, or after the pit cycle, I should say. It opened up some more there. Excuse me, if anyone heard the burp. But yeah, even Peter opened up the gap from what he had of Page before the pit cycle occurred. So I almost want to say this race could play into the hands of Peter if it stays green for the foreseeable future.
Yes. I want to go back and see what maybe led to Philip losing the car here.
And he breaks loose going into turn one. I do, well, just battling some looseness, it looks like. That's in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I believe so. So maybe no contact, just a loose vehicle, and
Yeah, Brad, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I am fighting so hard.
you're good, bud. You're good. You are good, good, good. When there's no excitement, well, some excitement, but
No, I've just had a long day.
I'm sorry. Oh, Jacob Carter's now in the wall there.
Jacob, that's not how you run down the leaders.
No, it ain't. Not hitting that wall, that's for sure. As Joe Stipe still a lap down, Whitford and Danger are going a lap down just like that. As Peter will give
Heineko's not going to be all his. No Kachiga for him.
right. But Peter is sure as heck wrapping that outside wall the way that he needs to.
Yeah, he's tried to kiss it a couple of times tonight. He's surely been flirting with it all night, so trying his best to maintain the gap. He's already basically a 4.5, 5 second gap he's opened up to Brock Page in second place. Don't know if Brock is letting Peter drive away at the moment, letting him kind of burn his stuff up here on this second stint. Maybe Brock can find something and drive back down possibly, but don't know.
That is true as well.
Like I said, I know one thing. I am about dozing off.
If you need to go to bed, bud, you can.
It's just me. Like I said, I'll stick it out. I'll try to wait till after the checkered. How about that deal?
Yes.
Adios after checkers. It's like checkers or wreckers. Oh, Lawson dragging, helping the wall with the wall support. But he got out of it good, he was safely. These cars that carry so much speed here at Atlanta, and it can be a handful because the power steering that they do have isn't quite the greatest, so that's another thing. So gotta be mindful and watchful of a whole lot of awareness going down at the same time.
Absolutely, but I believe nobody, I don't think anybody has anything for Peter. Peter's setting his own pace. He's already got a
5.25 second. Yep.
Over Brock. And Brock pitted a couple laps before him. So I don't know if Brock's being patient with the car or Peter just got this track jotted down and
And if that's truly what 2 laps of tire really look like at Atlanta, oh man. You know what I mean? Like, that is crucial.
that is compared to the fresh tires. Or unless some lap traffic played a key and that's that.
Yeah, something we didn't catch. Did Brock get in the wall at some point? We didn't catch it. What could have transpired to maybe Brock maybe could have lost a second or more that we didn't catch,
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's find out here. We'll go back and look. No, just Peter wrapped the bottom pretty good and no lap traffic and he just set his own pace. That's really That's what that is right there. But Peter's on a whole nother level, that's for sure. Good for him. Always good to see new faces out here.
Are we halfway, or is that at lap 82?
Halfway is, I do believe, I want to say 82. Nope, we're halfway.
Oh, okay, looky.
I know I've been in your position plenty of times with very sleepy and
I can
tired.
still do math, it's okay.
Hey, that's right. That's why you come in handy. So, and it's always good to have the phenomenal rundown of Atlanta prior to the race. A lot of these guys know history behind it and a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, the famous championship deciding race, the championship that Alan Kawicki won, but like Davey Allison and so many different drivers had a chance to win that championship that year, so
Yeah, and Josh
that's
Cook's
another,
gonna go a lap down here.
the same year that Richard Petty retired, Jeff Gordon started his career. Had all that is that same race.
So we,
Atlanta used to be the season finale.
I saw that. I was going back looking at a couple of the schedules there, and yeah, Atlanta was. Hey, but sometimes you know, and I know Atlanta can bring some good racing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like we've seen in the beginning of tonight's race, it was they were quite racy with themselves tonight to start off, but
Absolutely. And then they tend to, they're like, all right, I'm going to calm it down. We're not going to get too out of hand here. That's for sure. But Brock Pay, oh, there it is. Peter hit the wall a little bit there. Oof. Kyle Gooden almost ready to go a lap down to Peter. So Peter's setting his own zip code here. They're going
gotta
to be
remember
paying.
Kyle is in the 5th place too. He's in 5th position.
Oh, yeah. But Peter, Kyle, and Josh all pitted at the same time. So now, if I'm
They
Kyle or
still got at
Josh,
least a good dozen or so more laps, if not almost 2 dozen more laps, Brian, before they pit again.
yep. Besides those early pitters, to be honest with you.
Because if it was like lap 46 to 50, like 90, 97 to 101, perhaps, something like that.
Oh yeah. You see there, Phillip gets by Joe, but Phillip is 6 laps down, so he's currently not running for anything at the moment. Maybe could
Yeah,
squeeze a top 10, maybe.
some of these drivers out there on an island of their own relevancy, indeed. We do have a few cars 1 lap down, but in this kind of rule system, it's very difficult to get one of those laps back. So
As long as the race stays green, yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to get a couple of those laps back due to different pit stops and strategies. I don't know where the closest battle is. They're so spread apart. You see here Jacob Carter getting by the 42. Best that he can. Like we said here, Kyle Gooden's the next one to fall into the hands of Peter. Oh, as Carter hits the wall up there. You don't want to do that. As Brandon Morris hits comfortably P3 to Carter. Got almost a 12 to 13 second difference between third and fourth.
Yeah, everybody's got their own gap to mind. Everybody's, for the most part, very spaced out, like we've already talked about. The Carter and Gooden, they're kind of close to one another, but not quite. About 4 seconds separate those two, so still a good gap between.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like, just kind of sitting here, that sounds like a decent, like, song title for, like, one of those, like, new age metal rock bands that did, like, a bunch of screamo-y stuff. Like the gap in between. It just sounds like one of those lost gems on, like, one of those, like, first albums or something by one of those bands. Like, it just... We came as Romans, the gap in between. Like, I can just hear it now. I can hear it now. It's got a ring to it.
Well, there's Carter up there in front of him, Will. So, Kyle's ever so
Kyle
slightly...
could run down Jacob. Could get a top 4. I don't know about getting a top 3. Getting to Brandon, that... I don't know. He drove away from Jacob, but that can be easy to do on a good day, let alone even a bad day. So, it's Jacob. Anyway, so Kyle, just impressive, to run down Jacob. Nevertheless, for Kyle, that if he can hang this in, keep it going, he still got some laps to log here. It's not over yet, but impressive run going for Kyle.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Whitford in 7th place, I do believe, so hasn't been caught up in a wreck or nothing of the sorts yet so far. Knock on whatever conspiracy would you believe in. Some people, like I've said before, like Campbell, or just just some other people, like I've said in the past, it just seem like they got magnets on them, or they always get involved in everything, or you just always hope that they have a good race, just one from start to finish that you actually can finish, not one that you just start and get caught up in a wreck,
Yeah. Impressive with Kyle. He's ever so slightly running down Jacob as we watch on board here. He's letting it roll so much and then getting on it when he feels comfortable to get on it so the rear doesn't slip away from him. So you can hear him letting
very smooth.
You can hear him letting it roll so much into
oh yeah. once you get into a good run here at Atlanta, what you need to do is back up your corners, back up the corner entry. That's exactly what Kyle's doing. May not be the quickest, but could be be one of the most consistent. And at the end of the day, he's been running down Carter. That's what he's been doing good at here lately. Past a handful of laps, so. Top three separated by 14 and a half seconds. Now, like you said, riding on board with Jacob Carter. Just to hear his throttle lifting points and everything to that nature. Back and forth. I almost feel like Jacob this late into the run's putting a bit more drive into the car than necessary. That's what been making him lose this ground, you would think, to almost called him Rodney.
Brandon?
Don't know. No, wow, you called him Brandon. Brandon's ahead of him. Kyle. Yes, Kyle Gooden. Where did Rodney come from? My goodness. I do not know nobody named Rodney that I'm aware of. Those bars in the windshield of the Thunderbird look so, like, it kind of reminds me of, if anybody's ever seen Futurama and, like, the graphics on Futurama, like Bender.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me of that. Like, very, in our 2003-ish vibes. Hell yeah, we actually got the cameraman doing some work today, ladies and gentlemen. Actually rotating the camera. It's no longer fixed anymore, apparently.
Good run for Kyle, I would say. Absolutely.
Yeah, fourth position. Like I said, I don't think he's going to run down Brandon more in that third spot. I think Brandon could have that locked up, but race isn't over yet, so don't. We still have one more scheduled pit stop at least. One more for everybody, so. Like I said, it's not locked up yet at the moment before we get to that round of pit stops. About the 34 seconds, 34 seconds, about what the quick times currently being put down are. So, 6.5 seconds back to Brock Page from Peter Santamania in the first position. Almost called him Santa Maria, but it's okay.
Brock's pitting here.
I almost think it's a bit too early. I don't know. Don't know if that's going to help Brock's case at all whatsoever in the fight against Peter.
He also came in at 41.
Okay, so that's exactly scheduled for Brock then. It's not like he's trying to undercut or short pit to play a system or a card or anything. That's true for him. I see Jacob is in the Haviline, his paint scheme that he inspired. Indeed.
Carter with a 22.2 second stop. Same time as what Kyle had. Brandon Moore with a 13.5 second. So that leaves to me that Brandon took 2 right sides and some fuel. As now Kyle Gooden is now going.
What was Brandon?
13.5.
Most definitely he did some witchcraft in the pits with the right sides, more than likely.
So now Kyle Gooden's pitting. Whitford's now in the pits. Joe Stipe is now making his pit stop. Bradford hits that wall there, slides down in front of Brock. Whitford with a 22.8 second stop there. Joe Stipe with a 21.4. Kyle Gooden looks to get by Bradford there, and just like that he does. This will put Josh Small, P2, Peter, P1. Behind them will be Brock Bates, Brandon Moore, Jacob Carter 2 laps down. Kyle Gooden is 2 laps down. .98 of 135 come in the books.
Closing in on that 35 lap to go mark.
You see here, Josh Small is now making his pit stop. Yep. Ever so slightly, they will be closing in on it.
I tried to make it. I'm very sorry.
You're good, bud. You're good.
I'm gonna, unfortunately, bail.
You're right. You're good. Do what you gotta do.
Next week, though, I'm actually going to take the week off, right? Because of Christmas, or am I a week ahead?
You're a week ahead.
No, okay. So they're okay.
Yeah.
Richmond, most definitely
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bud. You go rest up and.
Hopefully, no action or anything awesome happens. Be my luck, and everybody else's something happens.
Probably.
That's normally how it goes, you know.
You see here, Brandon Moore is starting to run down Brock Page here for that P2. I do believe. I think Peter only took right sides and fuel 2 as well to maintain that that first place. (102) 135 in the books. Oh, you see there, Brock got a little loose there. Brandon Moore is looking to get by Brock Page for P2 here. Just like that, he does. As Brock Page will settle for P3. Oh, as Brock Page gets a little loose off of turn 4, right behind Brandon, and as Brandon gets tight, hits the wall a little bit coming out of 4, coming to the start finish as they head into turns 1 and 2 here, as Brandon Moore is going to run the bottom. Brock Page is still going to run the outside lane. That's where he feels the most comfortable at, and he has yet to change the line of that. So I'll go ahead and give you the sounds of these 87's car. We'll go to our crank it up section of the night. Sorry, a little late on it, but we'll go ahead and let you guys get the great sounds of these 87's cars that are around the wild, wild fast track of Atlanta. Enjoy. So we'll go back and review what happened as we were stepping away real quick. We'll go back and take a look here. So Brock Page is coming out of turns 3 and 4 to the line. He gets a little loose. Josh Small hits him in the rear. Tries to lock it down the best that he can. And couldn't quite get it locked down and hits the rear of Brock Page, who was having a phenomenal race. And unfortunately, that might come to an end at this time. So, all the wrecks had happened off track, so no yellow, unfortunately. So, I don't know, that kind of looks like some retaliation. Anyway. "25 laps to go. Peter is still leading. Good run by Kyle, absolutely. Next, Brock Page goes to the outside of Kyle Gooden there. Not for position, so Kyle slides up there. "23 laps to go here tonight. Who's got enough to run down Peter? Can Brandon Moore get to Peter within the 22 laps? I don't think he can, but anything is possible as Peter's wrapping that outside wall where he's been all day as he was watching Brock Page and Jacob Carter as well. So believe was that Bradford or Bridgman? No, that's Bradford. Oh, as Joe Stipe hits the wall there. Doesn't lose too much time. That's Bradford in the pits. 20 laps to go here tonight in the 87th Throwback Cup Series. Peter has had a dominant car here tonight on top of Brock Page, on top of Carter for a little bit, and then the cars decided to go away. But I would say outstanding run by Kyle Gooden. Kyle Gooden had a hell of a fight. Next week we're at Richmond. The week after that, I might have these guys off. Not too sure yet. We'll see what they think about it. So the following week after that, the following Thursday after that, we'll keep you guys tuned in, and we'll just go from there. 18 laps to go. Brock Page currently on board with Jacob Carter on the inside. And Whitford to the inside of Brock. Whitford is P5. Brock Page is P7 now. Very unfortunate for Brock. Hate to see it for him. I know frustrations are probably going not too kindly over there, but that's the drivers we have, and that's what makes the entertainment fun. So see there Kyle Gooden right behind Josh and Joe. But to all the viewers who came out to watch tonight, thank you for tuning in. I know it's been all green flag runs from there. Plus, no cautions because they've been under the apron and the iRacing rules. If you're off the racing surface, you will not get a caution. So, unfortunately, both of those wrecks have been under the line there. So, no cautions. So, $16 laps to go here tonight from the BNR 87's Throwback Cup Series, brought to you by Atlanta. So, I get these drivers props hanging out with us on Thursday night to hold them over until our official season kicks back up in February. So right when this ends, we'll be heading over to our upper series side of things. See there, Philip Redmond getting by Peter to get one of his laps back, and just like that he does. 14 laps to go. A lot of lap traffic here in front of Peter. As Peter looks to put Joe another lap down. I know Kyle Gooden's hanging on forever so slightly dear life to stay on the lead lap. But if he does manage to go a lap down, he is the only car one lap down. So either way, he would still finish in that position unless one of the other drivers who are 2 laps down gets on by Kyle. So Peter's in the wall there. Closing in now on 10 laps to go here tonight. So see right there, Kyle falls 1 lap down to Peter. But if anything, Kyle himself will finish P4, which is a good run by him. Closing in on 9 laps to go this time by. Eight laps to go as we're on board with Jacob Carter, and right behind him is Philip Bridgman. In front of him is Aaron Bradford. So Carter's still in the lead lap, trying to stay ahead of Peter, because then right behind him is Kyle Gooden. Excuse me. 7 laps to go. Josh Small looking to hang on tight there and try not to go 4 laps back down again after he has gotten by him. So just like that, he's going back down to 4 laps. Six laps to go. Josh Small in behind Peter. Peter hits the wall again. Flirting with that wall. Barney the flagman's been seeing a lot of interesting things. Has yet to wave that yellow flag out. 5 laps to go here tonight, as Kyle Gooden looks to unlap himself to get back on the lead lap here. Just like that, he does. He's back on the lead lap. Question is, can he get up there to run down Carter? About a 5-second difference there. Four laps to go here tonight. Do we get that caution? Good run by all these guys tonight. Hell of a job. You see Aaron Bradford there, Brandon Moore. Oof. Hard hit to the wall by the 25. As Bradford wraps the outside, trying to keep her off of Brandon Moore and Phillip. But Brandon Moore, his boy, is sure as hell flirting with that wall there. 2 laps to go here tonight. Carter ever so slightly trying to get P2 away from Brandon Moore. Not too sure if he has enough. White flag is out here tonight. Coming out of turns 1 and 2. Heading into the final turn there. Jacob Carter gets Brandon Moore loose as these two will duke it out. Side by side like that. Brandon's going to give it to him. Have at it. The white flag is out. Oh, Brandon, that is not what you need. Checker flag now to the line. As Peter will take the win. Jacob Carter will come home P2. Brandon Moore P3. Kyle Gooden P4. As we have here your overall results. So Peter will come home the race winner, followed by Jacob Carter, Brandon Moore, Kyle Gooden, Joe Stipe, Darrell Whitford, Brock Page, Aaron Bradford, Josh Small, Paul Lawson, and Philip Bridgman. Awesome job by these drivers here tonight. As we let Pino burn it down here. Absolutely great run here tonight by these drivers. Unfortunately, we can't talk to Peter because he gets off and heads to work. So we'll wait for these drivers to get in and go use the restroom real fast until we rally them all up. All right. So we'll first talk to Kyle Gooden.
Anything?
Mr.
Oh,
Kyle. How's it going, sir?
good man. How are you?
I am doing alright. I would say overall, great run by you tonight. I'm sure it was a little rough out there, but walk us through how your race went tonight. We'll just start off with that.
It's just a little different there, especially with these older style cars. They drive a little different. Basically, you just roll it off into the corner about midway. You start throttling back up slowly instead of goosing it, and it holds its own. You don't burn up the right front because that's the biggest deal is the tires.
Yes, sir. Um, how was the struggles finessing around the traffic? Because I noticed you were starting to. It looked like some things were a little sketchy, and then sometimes you were just good. So, from your point of view, how was it finessing around these cars?
It was good. It's just when you get around like two or three wide or something like that, you know. It's rough to do pretty much anywhere but like Daytona or Talladega. So you just was three wide at one moment, thought I was about to get in a wreck with it coming off of two, and luckily the guys they held it all together as well, and we just kept trucking through. But it's just the lines are the biggest deal. Trying to stay off of each other, give enough room that we could all get around.
Yes, sir. Um, there's a few wrecks that were iffy, but we won't go there. A lot of it was off track, so that was the reason why you guys didn't get any yellows. All the wrecks happened off the racing surface, which is how normally it would be, but in real life they would have thrown the yellow, but unfortunately on this side of things we don't do that. Um, if you are here next week, we head to Richmond. What would be your mindset and maybe technical going into Richmond?
Biggest thing with Richmond is just keeping it clean. If you can keep the car clean going through a smaller track like that, it'll work for you. That and coming off the corners, try not to get on the throttle so hard and just kind of ease back into it. Keep you keep your wheels up underneath you, good enough to launch you out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was saying also, freaking hell of a job tonight by you in this five cores machine here. Um, any shout outs or anything that you want to give, and then we'll get you on your way.
Just thank you to the boys. They helped out a lot. Brendan helped out. Jacob Carter, Josh, all the guys that were kind of helping guide what to do with these cars specifically here. Um, and yeah, thank y'all for putting on the show. I loved it.
Yeah, Will had to leave a little early. He was getting a little sleepy. He hasn't slept too well, so I told him that's fine. You can departure your way, and I'm sure these boys won't be mad. I'm sure they would like to have you ask the questions too as well, but I told Will, go ahead, get some rest, and I can take over from here. Hell of a job, Kyle. Awesome to see you in the booth here. For once, finally good finish, which is awesome. Absolutely. Um, best of luck to you at Richmond, and hopefully we can see you back up here again.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
No problem. Next, we'll bring Brandon Moore.
Dance.
B Moore.
What's up?
How's it going, sir?
It's a going.
I would say a wild run for you.
Yeah, that was a wild race.
A lot of oopsies and quite a few shindigs going on along the track. Congratulations on the P3. As always, we love hearing you up here, but Will unfortunately was tired, went to bed early. So, Mr. Brandon, tell these drivers who are watching and race fans that are out there watching too as well, um, how your car handled tonight around the track. Which lane did you prefer? Because there's multiple lanes going between the top, middle, and low lane. And how was it getting through the traffic?
It's an 87 on an old surface. It's just a plow horse, to be honest. I was running the bottom, and I was using a lot of brake to keep it turned, and just trying to get a smooth exit. Was my preferred line. Uh, but overall, it was fun. I enjoyed driving these.
Yes, sir. And Will Ball told me this was a track they ran in the finale back in the day. This was the track they used. This is where the season finale ended. So
Better than Phoenix, I tell you that. That'd been a show.
yeah. But as I think Will said, there was a lot of controversy towards the end.
Yeah, that's what me and Jacob was watching. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But so just for everyone knows, 2 tires is very fun on these. But do not push it as hard as I pushed it, because at the end of the run, you were death.
We saw that. We seen you get a little lift off of there battling with Jacob. And then
There was just no turn left in the car. I told them to make the corner after I wore the tires off of it, when I knocked the leader down to like 2.5 seconds. After that, I had to have the wheel all the way to the left. So like the center stripe on the top of the steering wheel was perfectly horizontal.
Huh.
That's how much wheel I had to have in it to make the car turn. And I was using my brake bar was about halfway up, all the way to the center of the corner to make the corner.
Yeah. Right.
But the car drove really cool on too. You can almost drive it like a current gen stock car. You're able to just tap the brake, and it would just turn in on its own, and it would actually rotate, and you could drive it from the middle off with the right rear until you burn up the right front when I started overdriving it.
Yes, sir. Next week is Richmond. What's going to be your mindset and thoughts going into Richmond?
That will be bottom fed all the way. As is what I'm going to be guessing with these cars. The newer cars, you can kind of make the outside, not the outside, but the middle line work pretty good. But you're going to really need to keep the left side tires, especially in turn 3 and 4 on that yellow line, to help turn and rotate the car, because the nose is going to shove pretty bad. So that'll probably be the key next week.
Yep. And I do believe you and Peter did take the same strategy on that last pit stop.
Oh, did he take 2?
I do believe so. He was in and
He
out.
just didn't shove the piss out of it like I did.
Yeah. He was quick. He was literally flirting with that wall all the way around the track.
See, I never did practice the wall. I tried to go up there a couple times, and I just didn't have the entry that they were having. I was trying to enter probably a groove off the wall, and then kind of let it float up to the wall, kind of like you would do at Darlington, if that makes sense. And then I would try to dime it back off towards the bottom, but there really wasn't a whole lot of speed with that, so I went right back down to the bottom.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I noticed him, Brock Page, and Carter were right in that outside lane. They had it between the middle to high. I do notice with the new upgrade to iRacing platform, they did do grooves to where after a while you got to switch your grooves up. And
See, that's what I knew. I couldn't believe that the top didn't go away, because that's what I was thinking, that the top was going to go away for sure.
A lot of them were hitting the wall too up there, so it was starting to go away. And also it depends on
Was they losing it on exit, or was they losing it in the middle?
There you go, barrel rolling. I didn't know that. It was exit. He was hitting the wall.
Because I figured that's where you would lose it, would be the exit. When you try to get back to the gas, the rear tires were going to stop hooking.
Yes. But anyway, a hell of a race for you. You end up running them back down.
I just sent it. I was like, we're going to try to win this thing.
That's kind of what I figured.
I should have not done that. If I would have not done that, I think we could have held on to second, but there was just no way of holding anybody off.
Yeah. Well, especially in these cars, it's a whole different
Oh, he
ball
was
game.
killed. It was a super plow horse after that. I should have
Yeah.
looked at the tire wear afterwards. I wanted to see what that right front was. I guarantee it was probably like 20% worse than the right
Well,
rear.
it's funny because I was talking to Will. I'm like, I wonder what these guys' tire wear was. But anyway, sir, you drove your took us off to get back to the front. Unfortunately, you drove it a little bit too hard. End up losing just one spot to Carter. So I would say pretty good race for you tonight. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Any shout
I
outs or
thought the
anything you want to give?
conservative approach was going to be the key because that's what I was starting to go
Mm-hmm.
with first. Is I just kept riding around, and
That's
I'm
what I
like,
thought
yeah,
you were doing.
I was like, these guys eventually just burn their shit off on the top, and then I'll
Yeah.
just pass them nonchalantly. Never happened. Don't know how that shit didn't wear out on the top.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was something with the update because you know as well as I do, if that would have been before the update, that shit would have been burnt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I agree
There's
with you.
no way.
I agree with you. Um. Anyway, sir, why don't you go ahead and give your holy crap? That's an ass whooping and a half in football. But
Oh man.
42 nothing. Oof. But anyway,
Oof.
give your shout outs and loves out there, and we'll get you back down there.
Yep. Just want to thank everybody who came out to watch the stream. Thank all the competitors who came out to put on a show. Thank the broadcast booth as always, and we're gonna go get them next week at Richmond.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to see you back up here for Richmond. So
I think we'll have a good run at Richmond. I usually run pretty good at
I was
Richmond,
gonna say
and
you're pretty.
about any car that I get put in,
Yeah, I was gonna say you're pretty
especially
consistent.
Xfinity cars and trucks. I got them things figured out.
I was gonna say you're pretty consistent all around once you learn the car and
Which I
understand
got
what.
some learning to do on these things. I still hadn't 110% figured them out.
Eventually you will. So, but
It
awesome
just
job.
lapsed.
Yeah, that's it. And then normally towards the end you're like, oh, it took me this long to get it going. So
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much. Pretty much.
that's what it is. Awesome job on P3, sir. Go celebrate that, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Next up, Mr. Carter. Jacob.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
Terrible.
Well, you ended up finishing P2, so I wouldn't say that was too terrible. You and Brandon had a little shindig there coming to the, was it the white or checkered? It was one of the two.
It was a while. It was two to go.
You started off awesome, then you and Brock separated for a bit. Seemed like the tires were fading away from you, but anyway, why don't you go ahead and explain your overall performance of the race, how the track felt, and what maybe you could have done differently.
Um, car felt okay. Until the tires would wear off, and then it would start getting tight. And then Brock was like, "Do the brake bias," and I did, and it just wouldn't work. So for a while, I was struggling with tightness, and then that last run, I was like, "Well, let me see what I can do on running my line and not trying to follow everybody else." So I tried that, and I got a lot better results off of it. Um, just the car drove okay. It's not my cup of tea with this old Atlanta, and we're still adjusting to these tire things that they just did that makes the tire like multi grooves or whatever. So
Yes,
it
sir.
was actually pretty. It's actually pretty fun. Like for a little bit, you could run the bottom, and then if you wanted to jump up, the top would start feeling a little bit better because it's colder, and then after you ran that, you could go back to the bottom, and so it was actually it was pretty fun. Trying to figure out what groove was the best way around the track, and trying to stay away from people, and kind of stay off the wall, but that did not happen. So yeah, I just at lap 70, I just wanted to give up. I was like, this car sucks, and we pitted on lap 90, got tires. I ran my own line, and it actually felt a lot better. Just arcing the car, I had to. I would have been a lot better arcing the car and running better than if I would have kept on running what I was doing. So just got to figure out how these cars are better in the long runs, and how to arc them, because they're, back then it's like a 4,500-pound stock car that you're maneuvering around the damn track at Mock Jesus. So
Yep. Well, next week y'all head to Richmond. Yeah. What's
good.
gonna be the mindset going into good old Richmond there?
If the car's loose, keeping it out under me. The car's tight, keeping it off the wall. So I just can't tell you. Trying to keep our nose clean and keep on gathering these points. I know Brock had a
Unfortunate
bad,
mishap.
yeah, and maybe he can rebound from it. I don't know what the points are looking like right now, but I have a feeling I'm one step closer to the lead. So we'll find out, and maybe just maybe we can get the points lead for a little bit and kind of get some extra points here and there.
Yes, sir. What was the hardest thing to maneuver around a track? Was it lap traffic, or was it trying to pass someone in the lane that you're in and then had to switch your lane up?
Yeah, that would be the most difficult, because you get so used to running your line, and then you have, like, say Paul, poor Paul. I love the high side, but every time I get around him, I'm gonna go high, and I'm like, ugh, crap. So it was just like it was a bitter taste in my mouth every time I got around lap traffic, because they had their lane, I had my lane, and then I had to mix it up. Which people are like, well, stay your line. Well, if I stay my line, they're probably gonna go get a hot dog in the concession stands, because I'm not gonna lift until they're around. So
Yes, sir. Well, awesome job bringing our own P2. Unfortunately, nobody had nothing for Mr. Peter there, so he was
no
on rails. He was just literally, he was like,
protesting, protesting.
he was literally on rails. He had a great car. For a while, he was watching you and Brock run your guys' lane, and then he decided to try it, so it ended up working for him. So, but anyway, awesome job on the P2. Give your shout outs and loves, and then we'll get you on your way.
Shout out to you. I see you're all alone, so
Well,
I guess Will had some.
Will was in here. He was getting tired. He didn't sleep too well,
Okay.
so. But he called him enjoy the race with me today, so.
Well, glad Will could come watch it for a little bit, even though it was a wreck fest, kind of. I wouldn't say wreck fest, but like
Hey, there was no cautions.
a shiz show, being like PG-13 over here. And shout out to you for making this possible for us to race here and racing these leads. And shout out to my teammate Brock. Hopefully he'll rebound next week. And shout out to Haviland for letting me put their sponsor on my car for the races and stuff. So other than that, that's all I got.
Well, there you go, sir. I'm going to get these points updated. I am going to head back over to the other Discord, get these points posted for you guys so you guys know where you're at and all that other stuff. But congratulations on the P2, and you be safe. You enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll chit-chat soon.
Alright.
All right, buddy. Anyway, that will do it here tonight from the BNR Racing Network. Wild run here with these 87 guys, and love having them out here. Enjoy all their company every day. Always a good laughter with this group. But until then, from myself, from Will, who left early, we want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. Everybody be safe. Have a good Merry Christmas. If you can't tune in next week, and if we don't hear from you, be safe. Safe travels. And myself, I love everybody who comes out to cheer us on and cheer these guys on. So we love you. Be safe, and